30-minute wood shop. Thanks for joining. Today we're making a charcuterie board. Super simple, super easy project. Takes no time at all to do. I have these leftovers. If you don't have leftovers, there's a link at the bottom for some wood. You can put that together, make your own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of these things up into smaller strips, arrange them in an eye-pleasing pattern, glue them up, run them through the planer, and when we get done, we'll have a great place to put cheese, crackers, sausages, those kinds of things, and serve it to our friends and guests. So keep watching. Okay, first I'm doing some cutting. I'll be cutting strips off of this so we can make some color variation in the board itself. Okay, we're all glued up. We'll let it sit around for overnight, and when we come back, we'll peel it out and run it through the planer. Okay, the basic board is out of the clamps. All we have to do now is put it through the planer, get it smoothed out, and then do some cutting. We'll be ready to go. Alright, so now I'm going to make some curves. I have a few curved pieces here. If I had a French curve, I'd probably use a French curve, but I don't have one. At least not one handy. So all I'm going to do is just basically set this bowl, draw a curve, try and make my curve here. We have a little bit of asymmetry going here because that's kind of something I want to see in this particular piece of work. And there we have it. So now I just got to cut this out and then sand it. So I have my hearing protection on, my protection you can't see. Piece secured so it's not moving around. I made sure I can clear the bench on my cut so I don't cut through my bench. So jigsaw in hand, let's start cutting. Alright, jigsaw's done. Now we're going to take it over to the sander, do a little sanding to give it a little more definition, and we'll be good. Okay, new belt's on, tracking properly. I'm using these 4x24 Diablo belts. And there we have it, the shape I want. Okay, sanding. Got to sand this puppy up. Okay, sanding's done. Next step is to round the edges. I'm going to grab a router and hit these things with probably a 1/4 inch. Maybe I'll go an 1/8 inch. Yeah, I'll do an 1/8 inch rounder. So, and then after that, all we have to do is put on some finish. Okay, DeWalt compact router with a 1/8 inch round over bit by 1/4 cable. By the way, I'm not paying for any of this. It's just the tools that I really like to use. So she's looking good. I do have one little burn spot right there on the maple. I lingered a little too long with the router. But I'll have to sand that out. But other than that, we're looking pretty good. So I'll get some sandpaper, take that care of that, and we'll be done. So I'm on my second coat of oil. I put on 3 coats, wipe it on, let it sit for about 20 minutes to a half hour. Then put another coat on once it's absorbed. And that pretty well gets the oil into the surface. You can see how that oil made this board pop. Colors are beautiful. I really love the Purple Heart and the Bloodwood. So one more coat, then we'll come back and put board butter on it. So wiped off all the excess oil. Now I'll put on a coat of board butter. This board butter is made up of a ratio of 6:1 oil, mineral oil, to beeswax. All you do is heat the two together, let it mix together, and then let it cool. And you should get out with a real buttery substance. It's like putting on wax on a car. And what this does is it seals up the grain, so it keeps most of the oil in, keeps most of the water out. If you aren't treating your boards this way, you need to get some, or make some. Most guys sell this for 15 or 20 bucks for a small jar. That's a little steep, but you know, hey. Make sure you get the stuff in the end grains too. This is one thing that'll keep the end grain from sucking up water. And even after the oil, you can see the difference by putting the wax on it. And because you're using mineral oil and beeswax, it's 100% food safe. Now all I want to do is do a quick buff off, just like you would a car. And there you have it. Your project's done. No kidding, 30 minutes of focused effort, you can have this thing wrapped up. Of course, that doesn't include the time it takes to dry, for the glue to dry. But on that note, I had a great time doing this project. It's going to a good home. I hope you enjoyed this too. And if you did, hit like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. If you want to see something else, different type of board, put something in the comments. And on that note, folks, until next time, good making.